Thank you. Thanks for coming in, Neil and ladies. I'm a fairly new senator, and every week since I've been sitting upstairs, Senator Chris Andrews has been talking about Pearse House, so I've got to know it fairly well. But I also knew that the ladies were coming in today because Chris arrived with a fancy tie, and I said he's definitely out to impress. But I will say, I run the Lighthouse on Pearse Street, and normally a facility like that, the neighbours would sort of go, "Oh, come on, what are you doing there?" Pearse House, the residents are key volunteers to what I do there. They've been so supportive over the years, and I just want to thank you for that, for doing something in your community. And you also mentioned it's about community, and you mentioned about even the retrofit, what's coming down the line. We're doing housing in Bluebell, Dublin 12, and one key issue we made sure that we're doing with the LDA, and I'm the chair of Bluebell Community Council. And we made sure that the community and the residents are engaged from day one throughout the consultation process. And that has worked fantastically. And the community, and we're all doing this together. So my question is, number one, were the community consulted? Were they brought along with the process with DCC for the new plans of regeneration? And then secondly, the retrofit which they're proposing, is that going to reduce the units, or is it just going to paint the units that are there and insulate them?
I'll answer the second one first. The retrofit is going to basically guarantee the flats that are there at the moment. So it's basically the 345 flats will be deep retrofit, and the same number will remain. We won't be gaining anything on that. It would just be an investment in the flats that are there at the moment. On the first one, the regeneration, that would have actually came from us, from the residents first, through various councillors over the years as well, including Chris Andrews, pushing this, where we actually highlighted the fact that Pearse House, nothing has been done to it. The common areas were done as back in 2006, I think it was. But the actual flats themselves, there has been no real investment, no real deep investment into it there. And we were looking at actually looking at bigger homes, because we were part of the collective complaint that went to Europe through CAN, the Community Action Network, and it highlighted actually how bad Pearse House was and how much overcrowding and how much there was a need for bigger homes. So our expectations and our hopes was that a regeneration project would actually make flats bigger, and that, like, well, I probably envisaged it myself that what was protected was the outside, and we'd have the balconies and all broken in, and the flats would be made bigger within the complex itself. But that was rejected because obviously we were losing homes in the first phase. They seen this big panic, where I seen additionality as the decanting of people and additional homes within the area. This site that we've looked at here, potentially the other two sites that obviously went out to hostels. You know, that they're what we should have been looking at, and that's what the government and local council should have been looking at, and saying, well, there's sites we've identified, put a plan in place to get this off the ground. Now, we have had engagement with the tenants ourselves. We update them, and in fairness to Dublin City Council, they have, as we went along. Like, we got a roadmap last year, and new designs for potentially the way it was going to go, until we found out in March what was happening. But in fairness, they have been engaging with ourselves and with the tenants as well. Now, we haven't released it to anyone yet, that the deep retrofit, we're holding a meeting next Wednesday, and we're going to tell people exactly what's been proposed, and then from that there will be consultations then with Dublin City Council again.
Can I just ask, do you have an idea what's the square meterage or square footage of the two-bedroom unit?
I don't off the top of my head, but I know it's a lot smaller than a standard two-bedroom.
Okay, thanks a million.
Yeah.